This is 1975 like you've never heard it before.
Walking through the park and reminiscing. Be my side, baby, be beside me.
Oh yeah, if you thought part 1 went off the rails, you might want to buckle up, because we haven't even reached the weird part yet. Welcome back. This is part 2 of the Forgotten Hits.
Number 1. How Long by Ace. It's one of those songs that never really left the airwaves, even if the band behind it did. Ace formed in Sheffield and were fronted by a young Paul Carrack, whose voice gave How Long its cool, effortless charm.
But I can't help but have my suspicion, 'cause I ain't quite.
But the track wasn't about heartbreak like everyone thought. It was about the band's bassist secretly rehearsing with another group. Betrayal, just not the romantic kind. They recorded it at Rockfield Studios in Wales, the same place Queen would soon use for Bohemian Rhapsody. Released in early 1975, it reached number 3 in the US. Then Ace faded just as quietly as they arrived. Carrack went on to sing for Squeeze, Mike Plus the Mechanics, and more. But this was his first moment, smooth, sharp, and still unforgettable. Number 2. Fallen in Love by Hamilton, Joe Frank, and Reynolds.
Baby, baby, falling in love. I'm falling in love again.
It's the kind of song that seemed to float out of every car window in the summer of '75. Hamilton, Joe Frank, and Reynolds had already tasted modest success in the early '70s, but this track was something different.
I could never see what fate had planned for me.
A polished slice of California soft rock, drenched in harmonies and gentle keyboard flourishes.
Baby, you can't see all the things you've meant to me.
The track was recorded after the band had quietly undergone a major change. Reynolds was no longer even in the group.
Fate is at the gate, and girl, you've got the key.
By the time this song hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, Dan Hamilton and Joe Frank Corallo had brought in a new member, but kept the old name for familiarity.
Baby, baby, falling in love. I'm falling in love again.
The song itself was recorded at ABC Dunhill Studios in Los Angeles, a label known for its slick production and radio-ready mixes. It struck a perfect balance between sentiment and simplicity. Despite the track's success, follow-ups fizzled. No second hit ever matched its charm or momentum. But for a few months in 1975, this was the sound of falling in love.
Baby, baby, falling in love. I'm falling in love again.
And vanishing just as quickly. 3. Sky High by Jigsaw. All over American radio thanks to a dramatic, string-filled anthem that felt way bigger than the band behind it. Sky High blended disco-era rhythm with soft rock flair, driven by Des Dyer's soaring falsetto and a melody that stuck and climbed the charts worldwide, peaking at number 3 in the US and reaching the top 10 in over a dozen countries. Jigsaw had been around for years before this moment, but Sky High recorded at Decca Studios in London. They tried to follow it up, but none of their later singles ever came close. Number 4. Loving You by Minnie Riperton.
Loving you is easy.
It didn't sound like anything else on the radio in 1975, floating somewhere above it all.
Loving you is.
Loving You began as a lullaby, something she sang to her baby daughter Maya at home. Her husband, songwriter Richard Rudolph, helped shape it into a full track, and together they recorded it at Studio M in Chicago, a quiet, modest studio that suited the song's fragile, intimate feel. And yet, that intimacy didn't stop it from becoming a worldwide phenomenon.
Every time that
In April 1975, Loving You reached #1, carried by Ripperton's 5-octave vocal range and those breathtaking high notes that became her signature. She continued making music until her untimely passing in 1979, but this song remained her defining moment, a gentle, personal melody that somehow touched millions.
Number 5, Firefall. Just remember I love you and it'll be all right.
Oh, you are the woman that I've always dreamed of. I knew it from the
Firefall sounded like the perfect drive home after a long day. Windows cracked, headlights low, that quiet mix of relief and reflection hanging in the air. They came out of the mid-70s Colorado scene, bringing a smooth, country-tinged rock sound that balanced comfort with craftsmanship. You Are the Woman, Just Remember I Love You, Strange Way, soft harmonies, shimmering guitars, songs that made you linger in the car just a little longer. What set Firefall apart was how clean and lush everything felt. This wasn't honky-tonk grit or southern barroom swagger. It was finely layered romantic music, rooted in country, but aimed higher, warmer, more reflective.
Oh, you are the woman that I've always dreamed of. I knew it from the
They had hits, they had fans, but like so many of their era, they drifted out of focus as the musical tide shifted. Why do we associate quiet music with weakness when it often lasts the longest? Number 6, Magic by Pilot. It's one of those songs that seemed to follow you everywhere in 1975, on the radio, in commercials, even at school dances. Catchy, bright, and impossibly polished, Magic was a breakout moment for a band that appeared out of nowhere. Pilot formed in Edinburgh, Scotland, and consisted of seasoned musicians who had spent years behind the scenes as session players. But when they stepped into the spotlight themselves, they delivered a surprise hit that felt effortless and infectious.
it's magic, you know.
The track was recorded at London's legendary Abbey Road Studios, produced by Alan Parsons, whose clean, expansive sound helped give the song its shimmer.
A sunny day, dream of far away.
He'd just come off working with Pink Floyd, and his production made even the lightest pop feel cinematic. They released more music, but shifting tastes and lack of label support pushed them off the map. Today, their name might be forgotten, but their one hit still sounds like a perfectly bottled moment from the mid-70s. Before we dive into the next one, let's hear from you. Which of these songs do you still remember hearing on the radio?
Never believe it's not so. Baby, baby, falling in love. Simple things ends with the fence.
Did any of them take you back to a specific moment or place? Or maybe there's another forgotten gem from 1975 we missed. Drop your memories in the comments. We're reading all of them. Number 7, Dreamweaver by Gary Wright. Few songs captured the mood of the mid-70s quite like this one. Ethereal, atmospheric, and built almost entirely on synthesizers. Dreamweaver didn't just sound different, it felt like something from another world. Gary Wright had previously played keyboard with Spooky Tooth and even contributed to George Harrison's solo albums. But it was during a trip to India after reading a spiritual book that Wright found the inspiration for something more introspective, a song about inner journeys, dreams, and letting go. Back in California, he recorded Dreamweaver at the Record Plant in LA, using only keyboards, ARP synths, and a drum machine. No guitars.
Still maybe some time.
It was one of the first pop hits to be built entirely on synthesizers, predating the synth pop wave by nearly a decade. Released in late 1975, the song climbed to number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 and became a staple of late-night radio for years to come. Number 8, Love Won't Let Me Wait by Major Harris.
Tell me yes, and don't.
In the summer of 1975, slow jams didn't get much smoother than this. Soft strings, warm horns, and a falsetto that seemed to glide effortlessly through the mix.
Tell me yes, and don't.
Love Won't Let Me Wait was pure Philadelphia soul at its most polished. Before going solo, Major Harris had been part of the Deflonics, one of the original Philly soul groups that helped shape the genre. When he recorded this track at Sigma Sound Studios with producer Bobby Eli, everything clicked. It was a masterclass in restraint, romantic without being rushed, passionate without trying too hard. The single shot up the charts, reaching number 5, and for Harris, it was a career-defining moment. Though he continued performing for decades, nothing ever matched the reach or impact of this one timeless track that still turns up on love song playlists nearly 50 years later. Number 9, Don't Call Us, We'll Call You by Sugarloaf. By 1975, Sugarloaf had already tasted success once, 5 years earlier, with Green Eyed Lady. But most people didn't expect them to come back swinging with a song that openly mocked the very industry they relied on.
Hello and put me on hold. To say the least, the cat was cold, he said.
Don't Call Us, We'll Call You was a sarcastic jab at record labels and gatekeepers, inspired by the band's own experience getting brushed off by Columbia Records. Rather than play it safe, they turned rejection into fuel and recorded the track themselves in Denver, layering it with sound effects, phone call snippets, and a sly imitation of a CVS executive. The result? A funky, biting track with a blues rock backbone and enough attitude to make it stand out. It peaked at number 9, their second and final major hit. After that, Sugarloaf quietly disappeared from the charts, but this one song left a lasting impression as a middle finger wrapped in a catchy hook. Proof that sometimes the best revenge really is a hit single. Number 10, Badfinger. If Baby Blue hit you during the Breaking Bad finale, or Day After Day ever found you on a rainy afternoon, then you already understand Badfinger. And if you ever wondered what would have happened if the Beatles passed the torch to a younger brother band, they did. Badfinger was hand-picked by Apple Records, with Paul McCartney writing Come and Get It and blessing their rise. They entered the 70s carrying Beatle-approved harmonies and impossible expectations. That perfect balance of crunchy guitars and irresistible melody. Cheap Trick, The Knack, even Oasis later on, entire careers were built on a foundation Badfinger poured first. Behind the scenes, everything collapsed. Crooked managers, legal battles, financial ruin, and in one of rock's most heartbreaking stories, Pete Ham and Tom Evans took their own lives. The music endured, the band faded. They've been called the unluckiest band in rock history, forgotten by many, never forgotten by those who really listened.
No matter where you go.
So there you have it. 10 bands buried as we aged, not because they failed, but because time moved on. Before you go, I've got to ask, which band hit you the hardest? Which song pulled you straight back in time? And who did we miss that deserves another spin? Drop it in the comments, I'm reading every one. If your feet started tapping or a memory just came rushing back, hit that thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe so we can keep digging up the deep cuts, the forgotten legends, and the songs that shape the soundtrack of your life. Until next time, from all of us at Golden Screen Actors.